Hello and hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today. From wherever you are, if you are from Kenya and Eastern Africa is Jambo. From France, Bonjour. And of course from our English friends, all the friends, good morning, good evening, whichever area that we are coming from. Thank you very much for coming here, joining us in this topic, in this webinar. For now, I would like everybody to introduce themselves at the chat. Write your name and the country where you are logged in from. And then we can have this activity, and then we start at exactly 4:05. My name is Margaret Waithaka. I am from the East Africa Career Development Association and also from Career Development Association in Kenya. And I'm going to be your host today and the presenter. Thank you very much. Let's see people writing where they are from and their country they are logging in from. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I can see a lot of people from Kenya. I can see Jana as well. Thank you for joining us. Yes, I can see Imelda. Thank you for joining us. Liban from Wajir. Good. This is where we will be discussing about. Thank you. Okay, as we continue with this activity, I think we can actually start because the timing was supposed to be from 4 o'clock. We already have a good number. The rest will be joining us. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the Intergovernment Career Guidance Working Group with all the partner agencies for bringing all this together. This is the second one. I remember some of you who are already here. We were there in the first Global Career Month. And this is a very great opportunity so that you can have career development discussions in this region and in the world. In the Eastern African region, this initiative is proudly championed by the East African Development Association. I'll be telling you a little bit about that. And the Career Development Association of Kenya, that is CDAC, that is bringing you this webinar, Career Guidance as a Catalyst for Youth Employability. And we're going to give you a case study of what we were able to achieve. So
Margaret, I think
yes.
we can't hear you. I think you can switch off the video.
Okay.
It's
Okay, can you hear me now?
yes, very well, yes.
Fantastic. All right, just in case we were not able to hear me well, I was saying that I wanted to say that this has been brought together by EACDA. That is the career guidance body that champions development in the Eastern Africa, and CDAC. Okay, so we can go on. All right, the speakers are going to be two. It is me, Margaret Waithaka. I am the chair of East African Career Development Association and the East African Career Development Association. If you go to the stage, you'll be able to see the different things that we have done, both of us have done. And then there's Dr. Mercy, who is the head of standards and ethics. Both of us have been in the space of career guidance and development for close to 25 years for Mercy, and I have been more than 15 years. And what we have done is we have a lot of experience in career guidance, youth employability, education and policy. And in particular, we have shaped national and regional frameworks for UNESCO, ILO, ministries, and all that. So this is a sector that we have actually been very conversant with, and is an area that we work with on day-to-day basis. Now, about East African Career Development, EACD is a chapter. It's a chapter of local chapters. It is an association of the local chapters. We have Kenya, we have Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Southern Sudan. Career Development Association of Kenya, where we are at, is the most vibrant, but others are actually been putting a lot of art together. What we do is that we are able to assist members countries develop their career development policies for the sector growth. We've done a lot in Kenya, and just a discussion for another day. We are able to foster good governance of National Career Development Association, that is through all the local chapters. EACD also creates synergies and channels cooperation so that we are able to have joint action and ventures, and foster excellence in career development delivery through establishing standards, ethics for practitioners, and a lot of that. That is the benefits that we have with that. So now, going back to that, career guidance and employability in public employment services. This is what we are doing. We are having a case study of rural employment services, an area that we know that always has challenges because a lot of PES institutions are most of them are actually in not in rural areas, but in the urban centers. But we are looking at what we did so that we can bring to you and say that, hey, it can actually be successful in any sector. What is PES? These are activities that support job seekers develop their skills and find work by providing lots of information on the labor market, on tools needed to make uninformed career choices. This is people in communities, in schools, and all that. Functions of public employment services, they are able to have assessment of skills and interests. We are able to find out from all the ones visiting their assessments of skills and their interests, their areas that they can align in. Information dissemination, especially from the labor market. We have tailored career counseling for each and every individual because career counseling is individualistic. We have a job matching and support. Public employment services are able to achieve that. We are able to also have strategies in training and workshops. Depending on the people who come through, we can actually do job site strategies. Of course, we have civil writing and all that, and including workshops. They're also supposed to connect help job seekers connect with employers, support in career transitions for all the job seekers that are able to come through. We're able to look at referrals and see where they can get their transitions. Public employment services also promote lifelong learning and inclusion to all, because it is supposed to take care of everybody. And also for policy development, because of the kind of information that are brought in the public employment services, they're able to influence policy in the member countries. So now that is general for public employment services. But what about rural employment services? Exactly what are they? Is there a difference between the two of them? If we say that PES are activity to support the job seekers develop their skills and find their work, what are the rural employment services? These are organized support systems and programs. They are structured and they are designed to help people living in rural areas access decent work. ILO is big on decent work, and this is what rural employment services are supposed to do. That what are the labor markets, what are the active labor markets in the rural areas, what is it that can they have? So the core elements that are of RES will be the labor market information and career guidance, that you are able to have information on job opportunities. You can actually look at how the differences and how they are aligning together. You're able to have information on job opportunities, training pathways, what are the training, especially for the unskilled ones, what training pathways can they have? If they are skilled, what pathways can they have? What emerging economic actors are we talking about? So all this labor market information, the rural employment services are able to offer the job seekers, and they're able to offer all the stakeholders that are there in RES. Skills development and training linkages, because RES is supposed to work with vocational trainings, apprenticeship opportunities and programs. We are able to reskill, to upskill, so that the job seekers that are coming to a center, we are able to assess and find out what specific areas do they need, what do they require, and then you are able to link them and to align them with all the different areas of skill development according to the need. And of course, we have a lot of job seekers that come through, and then what they do is that you are able, RES is supposed to look for job search and placement support in CV writing, interview preparation. This is a big area because we know that very many job seekers have CVs and documents that do not align with the work or they are looking for, the jobs that they're looking for. So RES or the centers are supposed to be helping them with that, helping them in job applications, and connect to employers or public works program in the region. So for example, if employers are looking for say like 10 workers or 10 staff in different areas, they're able to walk into a center and say that, hey, I'm looking for 5 workers and this is the criteria, this is what they have, and that is how we are able to link them because you already have the database of the job seekers. Then another core element of the service is entrepreneurship and self-employment support, because there are, of course, a lot of people come with different needs, and a lot of job seekers or people who are looking for areas, they have different needs. There are those ones who will require entrepreneurship and self-employment services. So at the center or RES center are supposed to help them start or expand their business. And this I do not mean necessarily on giving them human or capital, startup capitals. I mean, you are able to link with a lot of other staff or other organizational stakeholders that are able to offer this, helping them with business plans, to help them understand that this is what I need. Do you have a business plan? How do you expand? How do I access financial support? All these are information that these centers are supposed to be giving the job seekers, the people who are looking for different things, entrepreneurs. And when I mean the job seekers, I'm looking for people who are looking at placing food on the table, all of them, whether they're entrepreneurial and all. And then, of course, they work very easily as a labor intermediation services. That is what they offer. So they are able to put together job fairs so that they link the job seekers with employers, jobs in the job centers, digital platforms. Right now, we have been having a lot of digitization of jobs, and they are able to look at the various ways that the digital areas can actually be accessed. So now, why does it matter? Why should RES matter? Why is it important? Because rural areas experience high unemployment and underemployment. Think about your villages at home. Think about an area that you have visited. They always have experience a lot of unemployment and underemployment. And that is why we always have a lot of immigration to the urban centers, to the cities, because of this. Rest matters because they contribute to poverty reduction and local economic development. You'll be seeing this at the case study that we did. It matters because formal job markets are always very limited. So we are able to assist them, or centers are able to assist the job seekers or the people who come in for self-employment and informal work, and looking at the areas that dominate. Is it agriculture? Is it fishing? What are the sectors that dominate? What kind of information are you able to give them? The other thing is that these centers help address skill mismatches, lack of information, and barriers to job access. And you agree with me that many of these persons in the rural areas, many times they do not even know why they took a particular pathway. They may not have the right information, whether they are job boards and all that, that they need to have because of very many other competing scenarios, and they have barriers to access. So they have been brought the issue at home. And then, of course, it supports SDGs, the SDG 8, that is Sustainable Development Goals, which are global, for decent work and economic growth. And that is SDG 1. They're able to support the 8 and 1 for what we are meant to achieve. So for now, this is about employment services, and the differences are minimal. The public employment services many times will be found in the areas of the urban centers, but they really form, they form nearly the same, they perform nearly the same functions. But we have seen that from the rural areas, we will also be looking at also the economic development and the economic areas that need to be developed. Okay, now, we as career guidance for CDAC, we are members of EACD, but CGI, or Career Guidance Institute, a member of CDAC, was able to undertake a project that is a case study that we're going to offer you for the rural employment services and what we did for Turkana and Garissa counties, so that we are able to align for all those functions and the benefits and see whether they merge or align. So I want to give the floor to Dr. Mercy so that she can take us through these case studies. Dr. Mercy, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Margaret, for laying the ground for about what PES is and what PES is and what RES is. So we look at the case study of RES, Rural Employment Services in Turkana and Garissa counties, and you can see those who do not know where Garissa is in this is the map of Kenya, and it's the northwest part of Kenya. That's where we have Turkana and we have the Kakuma refugee camp, and then Garissa, where we also have the Dadaab refugee camp, where this project was implemented. So the RES project is a prospects project, an ILO project, the International Labour Organization project with the funding from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, and supported the implementation of rural employment services in Turkana and Garissa. I've just shown you where, so both when the project targeted the refugees and also the host community. So when such a program is done within the refugee context, then the host community also part of the neighboring host communities are also part of the program. So the implementing partners, as Margaret had said, is the National Employment Authority. We have a public employment PES, Public Employment Service in Kenya, under the ministry, under the National Employment Authority. And then Career Guidance Institute, who we are part of the trainers of this in this organization, and we were able to champion to be able to support together with National Employment Authority to be able to implement this project. So what was the project about, and what are the strategies? So it covered, it's to be able to activate, as Margaret has said, rural employment services is to activate the job creation within the rural setting. And in a rural setting that is far-flung, and especially now when we think in terms of the refugee context in Turkana that is far away, and then we think in terms of Dadaab in Garissa County. And so what did we do so that we can be able to extend this service to the refugees and the host community in those regions? Strategy one was to map out all relevant institutions and create or establish or be able to sign MOUs with those strategic partners. And those strategic partners are the ones who are going to be on the ground so that they can be able to recruit the job seekers and be able to recruit the job seekers and be able to have a database of the job seekers who are likely to benefit from this service. Then the second strategy was to use NEA, National Employment Authority, because it is also it's a government entity, and it also has structures within, it is also distributed. The public employment services are also in other counties. So we had to work with the National Employment Authority, the job centers or the office of the public employment services in Garissa and also in Turkana, in Kakuma. So those two, so we had to use existing structure so that there is no duplication. And also because of sustainability, once the program ends, how was going to be sustained? So this use of the NEA existing structures. The third strategy was also to map out, to be able to establish the stakeholders and also have employers forum, so that we can sensitize them that we are here so that we can create an environment where the job seekers, the refugees, and the host community can be able to access, can be able to find employment, or they can also get any information that will be useful for them when they are looking for jobs. So the stakeholders engagement and employers forums, we also did that. And then after that, the strategy 4 was be able to now to offer career guidance and employability trainings to partners. The partners that were identified in each region were 5. So we had 10 partners who are going to be able to cover the region both in Turkana and also, so they were 10, 5 in Turkana and also in Dadaab or in Garissa. So all the partners were trained on career guidance and employability so that they can be able to help the job seekers. When the job seekers come to their centers, to come to their organizations, then they should be able to support them. The strategy 5 was to, again, now to do, once the partners, the strategic partners have been trained, then their work is to now to recruit the job seekers. So job seekers, the 5th strategy was to be able to recruit job seekers. And then once they have been recruited, then they go through job search strategies training on how to write CVs, on how to prepare for interviews and etc. And those ones who are not going to do looking for work, then there was also an element of entrepreneurship training and also linkage to financial access. And then we have also another element of how to use digital skills and also using the students or the job seekers wanted to get into in the digital space and where they can get digital jobs. And then the 6th one was mapping the job seekers' career pathways. Once they have been trained, then we needed to, because they're not going to be a one fit for all. So the mapping of the job seekers was done according to career pathways for referral services. So we had 4 pathways, one for vocational skills, another one for apprenticeship, and especially for those we had a lot of job seekers, and especially women and very vulnerable. They have no language, they do not have any English, or they only have their mother tongue. And so transfer of skills in a vocational training institution was going to be difficult. So the partners arranged on how they can be trained some skills on the job. So we had some ladies being taught on tie and dye, others with pastries, others with soap making and etc. And then we also have the digital skills. So we divided all the job seekers once after the training into different areas, and others also sought to do skills upgrading, entrepreneurship, and others wanted internships. So that is how the job seekers were categorized after the training. And so we look at the activities that were done. So one was the creation of partners. The key partners activities were creation of partners. So the partners, including the national and the county government, developing partners who are also part of it, and especially UNHCR because of the refugees, then GIZ, the World Food Programs, UNICEF, and others. We had also chambers of commerce, the Turkana and Garissa chapters. They have linkage with the businesses, and then universities and TVETs in the regions, and then local refugee-led organizations, national and non-governmental organizations, and community-based organizations. So all these were able to create partnerships of some sort in a way that they will be able to work with them. When we come to the county government, we worked with them in terms of organizing the job fairs, and they were very supportive. The development partners were able to provide resources. The chambers was also to provide the entrepreneurs so that they can come and be able to give mentorship to the job seekers who wanted to become entrepreneurs. Then the second was the job seeker support that involved career had career guidance assessments and counseling sessions, and then job search skills. So we had sessions where they would be taught on CV, cover letters, writing, interviews, and job leads, and then entrepreneurship training. So all that was the job seeker support. And then we also had an activity of reaching out to the employers, and especially because we can train the job seekers and they do not know how to get into the labor market, and how will they know the kind of jobs are available within the local context. So we had employers and other stakeholders engagement forums. We also had a lot of advocacy, and then together with the employers, we were able to do job fairs, both in Turkana and also in Garissa. And then there was also an element of job platforms. And together we have the National Employment Authority has a NEAMIS, a job platform that is where we encourage the job seekers to register so that they can be able to access any jobs that are being posted on the NEAMIS and nationally, and especially for the local, the host communities, they have ability to go and work anywhere. So NEAMIS was going to be very useful for them, and we had large numbers registering on NEAMIS. Then they also had other local initiatives. Refugees are very creative. So we have one of them called Mohammed. He has a refugees local jobs sharing platform. He has a WhatsApp group that every day he shares jobs to the refugees, to the job seekers, and has a platform where whenever there is any agencies are posting any job, then he's able to share and within the platform, and any job seeker, and especially among the host community, the refugees, they are able to access, be able to see the jobs that are being advertised. Those were the four activities: creation of partnerships, job seeker support, reaching out to employers, and then provision of the job information about jobs. So what were the results and what were the statistics? So based on the REST Pathways map, we had a target of registration of 7,500, and we were at the end of the project. We had 6,186 registration of the job seekers, which now against a target we had achieved 82%. And then in terms of the job search training, about 3,161 were trained on job search skills, on CV writing, on cover letters, on identify job leads, and etc. And then, so based on that, we have transitions. So the transitions were on skills upgraded skills development. So the skills, there were about 1,207. job seekers who went and be able to be for upgrading and skills development. So they went to local TVETs and also to the university. Some of them went to the university. Then we had entrepreneurship. We had 1,278 business people, you know, job seekers transitioning into entrepreneurship. And then we have online and digital skills and work. We had 190 people who were able to get into online, and they were trained and also were able to do their currently, even now to date, they are doing digital work. Internships, we had about 50 of them who are graduates who are looking for internships, and they were placed. Then apprenticeships, the low-level apprenticeships were achieved, and work-based learning. So they were trained on henna decoration, tie and dye, soap making, baking, and pastries, and we had 433. And then those who are employed directly now to the organizations and the employers in the regions, we had 654 of them. So gives us a transition of 3,812, which gives about 62%. So this is the implication shows that if even in the rural areas, if the job seekers are supported, they are given the support, they are also likely to get into the labor market, and they will be able to, the state of hopelessness that is experienced in the rural areas can be reduced. So a 62% shows that support to a job seeker, even in the rural area, they can be able to, we can reduce the issues of poverty, and yes, we can be able to reduce the element of poverty. So lessons learned, one, we had 6 of them, that job skills skills training yields immediate and tangible results. You've seen the figures in terms of the employment, so it is true. It's I mean, when job seekers are given the skills, they're able even to go out of their way and be able to look for job because they are more confident. Then increase employers' engagement. So because the more job seekers get the skills, we also want the employers also to be able to share their jobs and the opportunities and the vacancies that are available. And then we strengthen referral systems, so that because we are again saying the job seekers are not one fit for all. So they are in different stages of their life. There are those ones who want to get skills. There are those ones who want to get into business. And so there are those ones who are suffering, who have been experiencing long-term unemployment. So they may be experiencing psychosocial issues or problems. So referral systems can be either to training institution, active labor market programs that are within the region, access to financial services, and also counseling services. Then strengthen apprenticeship programs, and especially where we have very low skills, then non-formal skills, and they are not able to go now for training institutions. Apprenticeship programs, we saw there were a big success, and especially for the women in Dadaab, they were able to get some jobs in terms of getting those skills of tie and dye, and today they are doing so well in terms of those activities. Increase access to labor market information. We cannot add a score. We know information is power, and the more information is accessible to as many job seekers is available, it will be. It's one of the things that we must increase and be able to help the vulnerable access labor information, and then enhance business development support and also access to financial support. Those ones who are entrepreneurial, so they also can still get into the businesses, and so they need be able to even to access or linkages to financial support. So sustainability of this, then we're saying one of the 2 ways that this program, even after it ended last year, we had the less activities integration. So we have the partner organizations, the 10 partner organizations that were operating both in Turkana, 5 in Turkana and 5 in Garissa. They were able to integrate less activities of the job search, job seeker support, employers engagement in their organizational structures and existing programs. There are still very good success stories going on in Dadaab, that the partners have continued to get a lot of support, even to be able to support other refugees within within the regions. Then career guidance has been mainstreamed within the PAES services of the National Employment Authority. We had over 100 of them employment officers trained in career guidance, and is now one of the key pillars in National Employment Authority, which is the PACE of the Kenyan PACE in this area. So I want to end there, and so that we can have the final thoughts before we can open the floor for the discussion. So Margaret, over back to you. Yeah, muted.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Mercy. Yes, so a few people are asking me about figures, and if you have any question, you can also put it on the chat, and then we'll be able to answer them. Thank you, Dr. Mercy. Because of that, we are able to give all the areas and sustainability and what we are able to receive. So now, going back to our topic, how was career guidance as a catalyst for, how did it become a catalyst for rural youth? And especially what she's brought out, that it's actually possible to get jobs. It's actually to understand the labor market and where they can go, and supporting the job seekers. So number one, career guidance is a connector. That career guidance was able to link job seekers to job matching services because there are schools in all those areas, they are trained. So it became a connector for also the other training programs that are there and the labor market information, and to actually get all the information that is required for a job seeker and what is trending, and even all the active markets that are there. So career guidance became a key connector, and it's a catalyst as a key connector for rural service employments. Then we have the tailored support. Job seekers were able to receive career guidance, tailored support through assessment, job search training, job alignment, and linked to employers. And this is something that will still continue, that they'll be able to receive career guidance individually through the assessments. We were able to use different assessments for career assessments, the job search training, like what Dr. Mercy has talked about, then the job alignment, and the link to employers as they want, because the employers, because being a referral, they are able to work with the centers very, very easily. Okay, then also as a catalyst is strategic integration, integrating career guidance in partner organizational structures and programs, as well as NEA. So what do we mean by this? When we are able to train NEA staff, we are able to train the stakeholders, we are able to train the career offices in vocational centers, and all the organizations that work with youth or they work with young people. So those could have been the CBOs, the FBOs, all those ones, the partners that we work with, the stakeholders that we mapped. We are able to integrate this career guidance and all that because we trained them. So these are the areas that are career guidance from as a catalyst, because number one, there is assessment, there is support of information, and then there is also the individual assessment, not only assessment, but also guidance and advice in all the areas. We have a lot of success stories when it comes to this. We had success stories in all the regions. We had success stories in Turkana, in Dadaab, but we are only going to bring you two. I know that my time is supposed to end in 5 minutes so that we can open the floor. So I will only bring you two. The first story was from Dadaab, and this was a young man who was called Abdi Omar. So he says after completing high school with a B-, B- is very high, especially for somebody coming from that area, because really that is a marginalized area. I applied for numerous scholarships and job opportunities, but I got rejections after rejection. The young man became very, very discouraged. But then he came across an advertisement on REST program. So the Dadaab Collective, as you have seen, was one of our key partners. We had 10 partners, so that was one of our key partners. And though the young man was hesitant, he applied, but he never expected much because there is always a lot of rejections that he had received. But he says that to his surprise, he was selected. Through training and mentorship, he learned a lot about CVs, application for scholarship, build strong job profile, and all that. And with all that guidance, he successfully applied for something during that time, I'm not sure whether it's still going on, was called the Malengo Scholarship, and he was invited for an interview. That was surprising. But before attending, what he did is that he was able to sort a mentorship on interview preparation in the center. Remember that this is the rural employment centers that we had. Those are the ones that we had at that time. So he was able to go before so that he can be prepared on things like professional etiquette, confidence building, and all that. He secured the scholarship. And additionally, with also the skills and job seeking strategies he acquired, he's been able to land a freelance job on Upwork. So today, he says he earns an income and he feels that he has a very, very bright future. The next one was from Turkana. The next one was from Turkana, and the one from Turkana was from Margaret Apuke from Kalubiei. Kalubiei is one of the biggest areas of the refugees. It's actually, they have different villages, and that is where the refugees from Sudan normally are received from. And what Margaret said is that after 6 months of job searching with no results, he felt completely stuck and discouraged. She was sending out dozens of applications, left, right, and center every week, but she was not getting anywhere, let alone a job offer or even an interview. But she says that everything changed when she enrolled to Jobs Strategy. Remember, in the beginning, we were saying that they had to register so that they can receive all the different areas that they could actually be assisted on. So they first register, they do the training, and then we're able to understand. This was from one of also our key partners who were called Key4Blee. So she says that the training transformed my approach. I learned how to tailor my resume for specific roles, write compelling cover letters, and optimize my LinkedIn profile. Of course, this was not there. It was started then. So we were able to attract recruiters. She also practiced interview techniques again, because Key4Blee had also been trained for this. And within 3 weeks of applying what she had learned, she said she landed 2 interviews. That is in Kalubiei. A week later, she received a job offer from Key4Blee itself. And so for her, she truly admired and passionate about working with us. So what we are trying to say, even as we conclude, is that it works. It just needs strategy. Rural employment services just need strategy. They need ways to be that. They need training so that this can be received and more people can actually get into the different paths so that they can earn an income. Because at the end of the day, whether they are doing entrepreneurship or whether they are doing apprenticeship, all jobs, we are looking at those transitioning to earning an income. And now we end our presentation and we invite members here so that they can ask any questions that they may have. So we open it. You can also ask. I saw there was some from Jan Alice, but I responded. He wanted to know about how many people, the number of people, the population that was done. I think Dr. Mercy answered that. He also wanted to know about the people, the kind of persons who are able to do this. And then we had partners, and then we had active professionals in this. So you can raise up your hand and I'm not sure whether you can unmute, and then you can ask any of the questions. So I leave it to the floor. Yes, Collins, you can unmute. Yes, Collins. Come through. Yes, Collins, go ahead, please. Colin McLean, go ahead. Is it me? Yes, Colin, just go ahead, unmute. Or if it's not possible, you can key in. All right, anybody else? Okay, Shaheen? Yes, Shaheen? Okay, I am really not sure why I can't hear. Shaheen, are you able to enable
they
the
are not
mic?
able to unmute.
Mm.
I'm not very sure how you're supposed to. Since I think check in your settings where you unmute.
Because see whether you are able to talk now, Shaheen.
Maybe she can write. I think it has a problem.
I think because I'm disabling the mic, I'm enabling again, but I'm not able to do that. Okay, so maybe you can write in the chat. Okay, so she's asking about giving us the challenges that we had. Dr. Mercy, are you able to answer that? She's asking about the challenges that we had on that.
Oh, yes, of course. There are the levels of, and especially among the ladies, the women, low-level literacies, and then also the others in terms of documentation, very poor documentation, and also, again, because some of them are refugees, they could also not be registered on NEAMIS. From the host community, the issue is that a sense of hopelessness and frustration. So they felt that even if I come, then there's no guarantee. So they always, their attitude that there's corruption, people will not get jobs, you need to know people and all that. But we are able now to be able to share with them and tell them that there's nothing wrong in knowing people, but it's how do you use that in a way that it is professional and it is not going to be that somebody else is being disadvantaged and over you. And if you have the qualifications, then there's nothing wrong with knowing people.
Okay, thank you very much. Colin, I'm so sorry, I'm not able to unmute you. I don't know why. I'm not.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, beautiful,
Mm.
beautiful. Just
Mm.
want to say thank you for having this. You've done an amazing job. I'm in Canada and
Oh.
I'm really blown away because I have a similar program. So I wanted to find out what are some of the challenges you had starting off? Is it, I guess, the trust issues of getting the participants? What exactly was your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
I think Dr. Mercy answered part of that, but one of the other biggest challenges is that this was a new area. Number one is that, yes, they had the trust issues, but also the partners as well. Not our key partners, but the stakeholders. Because the stakeholders, they needed to, we needed to run along together. One-on-one, and especially the employers. The employers were not very sure whether they wanted to be part of the NEAMIS. They were not also very sure that they wanted to upload or to give their information. We had a stakeholder forum where we were able to discuss with them, to talk with them, and to enable them that they are able to come to us. But that
To
was
build the
one
trust.
of the Exactly. Apprenticeship also was lowly understood and uptaken, because the kind of apprenticeship we wanted to have was one where we work with industry. But the kind of apprenticeship that finally was done was the one of very low level, like what Dr. Mercy talked about, the one of very low level, like small skills that could place money on the table. But we also wanted to have not only that, we also wanted to have also very high skilled apprenticeship, working with industry, working together, coming back, so that now we can say that it happened. The other one was also of internships as well, because especially for the vocational ones, we wanted them to have proper internships out of, but they sort of wanted like to get materials, they would like, but now the program could not take care of that. So for example, if you're a tailor, for example, you're a designer, you needed to have to be given materials. So those are the MOUs that we were still struggling with until even the project ended. What I've said is employers and apprenticeships and the trust issues.
I like that. Have you considered donations? So there's a lot of churches around. For the tailors, there's a lot of, like, my mother-in-law keeps collecting material but never does anything with it. Can you have a drive where people can donate the materials so that the youth can actually create something and then sell it back to the community, and then you give a spotlight on how great their work is, so it develops a sense of pride. So you're planting seeds of success for future people to come in, to buy in. Because once you get the people's buy-in, then they're going to come through. And I think you're doing amazing. Let's connect on LinkedIn, because I really want to learn more about what you do.
Kindly, thank you very much. And yes, there was a program. They were not our direct partners in Dadaab, in Garissa, and they were able to actually get from the political class and even others that were doing corporate responsibility on this area. I guess this is sustainability also for the public employment services and also the centers. Fantastic. I'll be able, I have given my email, then we can actually connect.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Shaheen, you have another question?
So how did Collins manage to unmute?
I don't know. How did you do it, Colin?
I just changed my headset is what I did. I was using an Apple iPod kind of set, and then I changed it to a regular traditional set, and it seemed to work for me. That's how I did that. I unplugged and restarted.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I don't know. I don't know. There are times that just happens. Anybody else with a query? Any question? Shaheen, maybe you can still type. Jan Ellis is asking whether we can give the PowerPoint slides. Yes, we can. We will. We'll actually send it to Jenna because she needed that. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I just want to say, sorry, I couldn't type in the chat for some reason.
Okay.
When you were talking to me, so you may want to check your chat features, because it may be locked.
Okay, if there is no other question, Shaheen, thanks, Mercy. That's commendable job done. That is all. That's what you've said. So thank you. I want to take, if there is no other questions, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for coming through. We are going to send this recording to all of you, and I would like to urge everybody to still continue getting into other webinars that are speaking about career guidance. These are discussions that we shall help all of us so that we are able to assist our young people and even all the others that we need to. These are conversations that are very important for all of us. So if there is nothing else, thank you very much and bless you.